presiding shepherd of the Celestial Church of Christ, Genesis Global Parish, Prophet Israel Oladele has refuted claims in the news making the rounds on social media that the Celestial Church of Christ is on life support in Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Los. Ogundipe, popularly known as Genesis, in this interview with Funke Akinwusi of Flip TV, said there is no alpha of truth in the claim made by Prophet Marcus Tibeton, and anyone who says that is just an attention seeker. Prophet Israel Oladele, who is the poster boy of the Celestial Church, stated that the White Garment Church is doing fine spiritually and encouraged everyone to have a change of heart and perception about the church, as this is an era of protocol breaking, line crossing, and unification.
Oh, there was a time he said a whole lot about Daddy Davido Yedepo. There was a time he said a whole lot about TB Joshua. There was a time he actually called our pastor a blind man, that God didn't call him. Even if God didn't call him, even if he's a blind man, as a man of God, what can you create? He started saying, so when he said all that about all those great men of God that Mike Murdoch didn't marry, and actually he even rubbished my own spiritual mother, Mommy Esther Abimbola Ajayi, the way she's adding, and up to me, you know why I didn't, and when he said all mine, I was just laughing that I was a member of his church. I was not a member of his church. I followed a woman called Toyin Kolade to our church when the woman was doing Thanksgiving there, and I went to the barricade. I played drums, my usual talent. Even in the church here too, I still play drums, I still play instruments. I've never met him in my life like we talked. So it was not even up to 30 minutes. So when I saw my video when he said my mother killed my father, he didn't know when my father died. But I remember the day my father died. I mean, when we buried him, lots of people came, crowd, a lot of rich people came. That the woman that insulted my mother, that abused my mother, said she was behind me and she was praying that even if someone does not have too many many children, if you have this one, is enough. That happens to be my testimony. And that was the person that told my father. So he said my mother killed my father, that I'm a ritualist. He begged some occultic people on my behalf. If you are not part of them, how will you beg them on my behalf? How do you know them? And nothing like that. To the glory of God, this is Bible. I have never added anything to the calling since I came. He said so many things that like when people started sending the video, do you know what I did? I started sharing the video by myself. I've been able to read books on how to handle criticism. I'm too loaded to be distracted. I'm too loaded to be avoided. I'm too blessed to be stressed. So when I call Uncle Shea, he abused Uncle Shea Kehinde, he abused so many people and so many things like that. So when I saw all those people, and I mean, all what he said about them that he didn't reply, I just kept quiet. That truly, I discovered great men don't defend issues. And when I went to my mother said, when they used to draw Obasanjo like a monkey, call Buhari this and that, have they gone to arrest anybody? I should just ignore. And that was why I ignored. So I was not surprised when I saw him saying Celestia is on life support, Celestia needs that. There was a time he wrote a book that God said he would be the Celestia pastor, that Obama would be the Obama that left would be the one that will come and install him. Now Obama is no more there. Maybe Obama will come later. So there are some issues in life. Apart from him, this is just a lesson for people, and I want people to learn from this. When you're doing something good, when you are better than some people, they want to get your attention. They want to really make you lose focus. They want you to be like them. You are a fruitful tree. Don't throw your fruits to empty trees. They have nothing to offer. I'm not saying the man does not have anything to offer. He's a celestial leader. I can't abuse him. I can't insult him. I can't call him to his face. This was the man I saw in London. I said, sir, all the video you did in Nigeria, I didn't answer you because I knew you were lying. And I greeted him. And he hugged me. He said, don't worry. I didn't even know what happened. God just did it to save your life. I said, what? And he saw me when I was preaching at Love of Christ Generation Church. Obasanjo was there. The Oni of Ife was there. If you see the video he did about Oni of Ife, you will know that this man was actually being pushed so that the blogger will make more money or fame through that. Look at all what he said about Oni of Ife. Oni of Ife has everything to react. He has money to react. He has everything to react. But the man didn't react. Why should I react? He saw me, I was preaching, on if he was there, Obasanjo was there, and immediately after the program, he was at their back. Immediately after the sermon, I went again, I greeted him. I was not taught to disrespect people. I'm not disrespecting him. If I wanted to answer him, I would have answered him way back. But I don't need to do that. Because I've studied, there's a book I'm writing to very soon, When No One Believes You. It's about you. When you start making your money now, when you start making it now, some people will not believe you. When you start making waves now, some people will not believe you. They wouldn't know that some things they have done against my life, that God has really used to build me. But when no one believes you, what will you do? Number one, believe in yourself. Number two, believe in your God. Number three, avoid distractions. The only thing that can terminate your insult is your result. So when he said about all those great ones, who am I? Baba Biara didn't reply. Daddy Oyedepo didn't reply. Baba Deboye didn't reply. All great men didn't reply. Very soon, let him do. He has said a whole lot about so many people in the government, and I just believe he was actually doing all that to look for attention and look for publicity or something like that. But trust me, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. So when he said Celestia is on life support and all that, Celestia is not on life support. Celestia is growing every day. We have just been able to roof our Imeko Cathedral, which we're trying to want to do before. Go to Imeko every year. You can't count all those crowds. Miracles are happening all the time. Celestia is having more peace. There's no church that does not have their own problem. No sect, no church that does not have their own issues. They know how to manage their issues. But what he said, nothing like that about Celestial Church, that Celestia is on life support. And I wouldn't know, maybe the man is on life support. But my own flabbergasting part of the story was when he saw me preaching for Obasanjo. After that, I saw him, I greeted him. He heard me. He heard my heart. He heard my head. He used his head to touch my head. He was praying. God will bless you. God will increase more. You are your joy. You are my pride. How I wish you have opportunity to follow me with this man to his church and let me question him. But I am too loaded to be wasted. I'm too loaded to be distracted. So I wasn't interested in answering him, talking about him. If you didn't ask questions about it, I wouldn't say anything about it. But I don't want to dodge your questions, and I don't want to have some skeleton in my cupboard. One of the maxims of equity says, "Who wants equity must come to equity with clean hands." Journalists should be very careful of the way they push information and negative things about people. If you're not hungry and you're not looking for cheap publicity, or you just want to flood your platform, you just don't do things that will ridicule people, that will condemn people. I have not seen that in Nigeria now. Some people are really making money through criticism, like attacking people, saying bad about, and the country is full of negativity. So that's where some people are making money from. So if any journalist ask me that, oh, we have had a story about you, we want to write it, I will just ask the journalist, is it going to make your paper sell? Is my face sellable? Is my story sellable? Please write.
Clearing the hair on the visit of the newly installed AARE ONA KAKANFO of Yoruba land, Otunba Gani Adams, to his church for Thanksgiving. Professor OLADELE stated that it is only proper for the AARE ONA KAKANFO to come to church with a scarf, which is in line with the tradition of his title, and give glory to God.
AARE ONA KAKANFO visited your church for Thanksgiving, and the social media went and was like he came in with his scarf and shoes and all that. What do you have to say? Because
he didn't get to the church with his shoe. He pulled his shoe outside, inside his car. He came with his car. His cap. When Onyofife went to redeem, did he remove his cap? When Kabiyesi Onyofife went, every king that went to other churches, none of them removed their cap. AARE ONA KAKANFO, I didn't know anything about the meaning of, I didn't even know the meaning of AARE ONA KAKANFO. Mine was when I met the man 4 years ago. He came for my launching, he launched my book, and I went to appreciate him, and I prayed for him, and I gave him 5 prophecies, and he called him back that all the prophecies I gave to him happened. I remember I didn't mention anything like AARE ONA KAKANFO, but God told me there is something coming. Something is coming for him in nice future, not going to be too long, that will make him lead Yoruba sects or lead Yoruba race. That's something God want to use him to front something for all the Yorubas. That was not like OPC. I didn't really know the meaning. So my perception about OPC was like, oh, they are juju people, they are crafty, well, that was not my business. No, these people, I mean, you're watching me. Are you telling me if a Muslim should give you a contract and you're a Christian, and the contract is about 11 million or 100 million, are you going to say because it's a Muslim, you don't want to get the contract? Are you telling me if somebody does not even go to church, want to give you a contract, you will not get it? My own business was to pray for him. As a prophet, you can see visions for anybody. As long as you don't have anything doing with a person. I'm not his creator. I'm not his destiny raiser. I'm not going to tell him don't do AARE ONA KAKANFO and don't do it or not. But he said all the prophecies I gave to him happened. Now, even when they selected him for AARE ONA KAKANFO, he happens to be the only one that wasn't as rich as others. That he never knew that position would be his. But he flashed back to when God told me that one opportunity is coming that will make him represent the whole of Yoruba. I never knew. Even when I heard that Abiola had AARE ONA KAKANFO, I thought it was a chieftaincy title for billionaires in Yoruba land, not knowing it was the thing of war and all that. But trust me, when social media started, I said, wow, that's another time for the glory to rise again. And some people started discouraging me. I should tell him not to come again. I said, me? I'm a man of authority. I'm a man of focus. I know where I'm going. Why shouldn't he come? So he went to the mosque. They didn't drive him away there. He came to the church. And funny enough, when he came to the church, he put his shoes outside. He rolled on the ground. He told the world that, don't you want to know, I grew up as a Christian, but destiny said he should face this. All these Christians that are condemning, they are the one craving for war. If war starts, can they go and face it? Can they represent Yoruba race? Among all Yoruba pastors and people criticizing us, who have been there to say, okay, I will fight for the Yorubas. Igbos has got theirs. They have their own leaders. Arewa too have got theirs. What is my own? Everybody knows Yoruba with tradition. Are you saying all Yoruba people should now become born again? Some of them, on that day, when it was during his inauguration and the installation, so many pastors came. So many alphas came. So many people came. So many kings all over Yoruba land came. Even outside kings and Igbo people came. I was able to sit with so many governors. So what is my own to answer them and listen? And through that, God has even added to the church. He didn't get into our altar to preach. He praised God. He rolled. And when we wanted to pray for him and inside the church, he went down. And they said AARE ONA KAKANFO must not prostrate for anybody. But when he came in, he prostrated on the where I was standing, he rolled. He didn't prostrate for me. He prostrated to God. Was that not enough? What if he gets to the church and he said, I'm not going to prostrate, am I going to judge him? My advice to everyone watching me is just I've been hearing about Flip TV. Truly, you've really been able to transform people. And I wouldn't have granted this interview if you are not good and if you're not straightforward. Information will give you revelation. Information will give you revelation for acceleration. And that's what will give you liberation. When you are revelated, you'll be elevated. I've seen good people that you have interviewed, and wherever you're watching me from, I just want you to hold on to 4 P's if you want to be successful in life. I'm not being traditional now, and I'm not talking about church right now. I'm talking about you. You need to believe in 4 P's. Number 1 P is prayers. If you can pray, that is what will bring a level of connectivity between humanity and divinity. Learn how to pray very well. Prayers. Number 2, passion. Whatever you do, just have passion for it. I have no other business than what I do. Because I have passion for it. I have passion for children. I have passion for Nigeria. I have passion for the world. I have passion for transformation. I am doing what I'm doing. I've been receiving so many attacks, but God has been faithful. I've received so many trouble. I've experienced so many troubles, but everything has been working together for my good, like what the Bible says in Romans 8:28. Everything working together for good to those that love God and to those that are called according to his purpose. Some people are your enemies. They're just fighting you. Let it work together for your good. Some people will need to step out of your life for God to step in. You're watching me right now. If you have passion for whatever you do, pick up your phones, check all your contacts. Anyone that does not add value, that's not adding value to you, delete them off. Don't force yourself on people. Don't let your friend choose you. Choose your friend. Prayer, passion, purpose. When you want to do anything, do it on purpose. When you want to marry, don't marry a woman because the woman is pretty. Don't marry a man because the man is eloquent, tall, and handsome. Marry a man because the man is purpose-driven. Marry a man that's going to add value to you. If you want to travel out of the country, I've traveled very well. I've traveled, very well. And I've seen what people are going through and what they're experiencing over there. If you want to travel, travel on purpose. There are so many things you're supposed to do in Nigeria that could add value to this country. Create your own world, start your own small business. That's 1 million or 2 million you want to use in processing traveling. If you put it in a small business and you are committed to what you're doing, you'll be successful. Do anything on purpose. If you want to eat, do it on purpose. If you want to be with some friends, do. I don't have many friends. I have my Bible and some friends too who are primarily who are transitional and who believes in new things, who really want to move from one level of glory to another. Like I told you, I didn't go to school. When you believe in prayers, you have passion, you have purpose, then you have principles. You have principles about your life. Who you want to talk to, who you don't want to talk to. Who you want, where you want to be, where you don't want to be. You need 3 things to be, to work on. Your perception, or 4 things: your perception, your confession, your locations, and your association. Your perception, the way you say things. If people are saying this thing is going to be bad, this thing is bad, you learn how to say this thing is good, it's going to be good. The language in America is God bless America. Why in Nigeria? Why are we saying God bless Nigeria is bad? Nigeria will this, Nigeria will divide, Nigeria will die, our president will die. What you confess with your mouth, you possess in your life. Your confession matters. Your confession matters. I am a child of God. I am not going to die but live to declare the words of God. I've got oil of God on my head. I've got the glory of God in my life. I'm a line crosser. I am unstoppable. I'm not going to die but live to declare the words of God. As for me and the children the Lord has given to me, we are for signs and wonders. What you confess, you will possess. All what I've confessed in my life about church happens to be what I'm possessing right now. When I started the ministry, when they said, oh, what has it got to do with Celestial Church? It's not going to come out, with good results. But today, everybody can see it. They are seeing it. Everybody, even my family, some even say, oh, we like it, so Celestial Church of Christ. It wasn't about what they have said about me. Don't allow people's interruption to affect your destination, your confession, your perception, the way you say things, your association. If you are moving with wrong people, wrong things will happen to you. Choose your friend. Choose people that will add value to you. If you have 10 wrong people as your friend, 9 wrong people as your friend, you are the 10th. If you surround yourself with people who are not purpose-driven, who are not value-driven, who does not know where they go, they want to go, or they just want to go clubbing, spend their money, they don't invest, you'll be like them. Change your association. I'm just repeating. Pick up your phone. If anybody's not adding value to you, delete them off. It's not about you dancing one corner everywhere. Know that you can face 4 corners of the world and do your things and do exploit. Delete people that are not adding value to you. Who are the people you need to separate yourself from? People who reminds you of your past, who are not seeing any good thing in you, those who are not seeing any positive things about you, those who are glutonic, those who are selfish, those who are following you because of what they get from you. You don't need them in your life. You don't need them in your life. Just work on your confession, your perception, your association, and your location. Where your location will determine your allocation. You don't have to be everywhere. If you're trying to want to be everywhere, you end up being nowhere. Look at the way they need to see, the place they need to see you. Why don't you go to where you will study, go to church where they will teach you the word of God? It's not about you clubbing. I'm not saying it's not good for you to enjoy your life, but please learn from your father. Learn from what you're going through and think about the way you need to build your future. Look at the friends you are keeping. They have not added value to you. They're not doing anything. They are botters. They are doing this, they are doing that. Going into crime every day. It's not going to help you. Don't run faster than your destiny. If you run faster than your destiny, you'll still come back to learn. I know you're going through a tough time now. Sometimes you need to be tougher to get better. The last one I just mentioned before breaking to confession, perception, location, and association. I mentioned prayers, I mentioned passion, I mentioned purpose, and I mentioned principle. The last one is principle. You must have principle. When I came into the ministry, I said, okay, I'm not going to charge nobody. It doesn't matter whatever anybody's saying. I'm not going to allow our church. In our church, we don't spray money. Other churches, if you like to spray money, we don't do it here. There's no special share for anybody. I've got principles. That's why So many attacks I've got. The part of my principle is we don't go to stream, we don't go to anything. Let's pray here. Let's see what God is going to do. I've been able to choose who my friends are. It's a principle. I know when to eat. When I wake up in the morning, I go to my bed, near my bed, I kneel down, I pray. After praying, I go straight to my treadmill. I jog. After jogging, I go to my library. I study. And my principle, I will sleep. I wake up 3 o'clock. I study. And immediately when it is like 5:36, I go to the treadmill. After, if I pray, I study, I go to the treadmill, I go back to my library. I must have a word for the day. I must have a word for the day. The word for my day today is in the book of Psalm 102 verse 13. The Lord shall arise to bless Zion, for the time to bless Zion has come. This is the set appointed time. And I will say it in the morning, I am blessed. God said he will arise to bless me. This is my time. My time has come. Look at me. I've gone through a lot. I was a conductor before. I've followed some artists before, playing for them. I've played for Daily Tower before. I've danced for Uncle Shino Peter before. I've done so many things that I wasn't able to mention at all. I've done laborers. I've done so many things. I've walked around. Where I've carried loads at where they call Cairo Market in Oshodi for people. My hand, this one cannot touch here because when I got my hand broken in school because of PTA money, my mother wasn't able to take me to Bobi. So we were asked to bring 150 naira. And my mother, when we were going to, but the first time we went to Bobi, when they applied POP, she was begging in the Molwe, please help us, please help us, please help us. We don't have anything. And I saw people abusing my mother, disgracing her, that why can't she go and walk? Why can't she go and do this? And I told my mother, don't let us go back to that place again. Then my father soaked my hand into a pail of water, and that thing dissolved, and my father removed the POP. And maybe that was why there was no therapy or whatever for my hand, and that's why this one cannot touch here, but this one can touch here. Maybe God allowed this to show me a sign that anytime I remember what I went through, why my hand cannot touch it just because of 150 naira, I should help people with whatever I've gotten in life. No matter what you're going through, or no matter what I've gone through, have your principles. Know that this is what you're going to do. You don't want to do it. If part of your principle is to kill your biggest enemy, the biggest enemy is called procrastination. If you want to succeed now, whatever you want to do it now. You have your dream. Don't let the dream die. You have something you want to do. You have interviewed me. You have gotten in mind. You want to write a book. Write it. You want to go for conferences. You want to be a presenter. You want to go for talk shows. Start now. People are making it in Nigeria. Let your principle be you don't want to eat too much. If you want to work on your tummy, you need to know that you don't need to eat after 7. Go jog, walk on yourself. What you would do will be different from what God is going to do. God is waiting on you to do something, and you are waiting on God to do something. Can two come together unless they agree? There must be agreement about your life, and you will get there in Jesus' name.